What kind of fees would consumers potentially be looking at, and how would their travel experience be impacted in the event that you do need to pass these costs on? Like, what? Give me a practical example of what a traveler might be looking at from the booking process right through to the time they board their flight.
So the airport improvement fee is a key one that may get passed on. So as we know, that's paid directly today by travelers. That is paid for the capital improvements at airports. When you look at the airports across Canada and they model out their financial stability over the next 5 years, they don't have enough revenue, because we get revenues only from passengers, to generate it to sustain the costs that are here. So that airport improvement fee, in some cases, has to go up 40 and 50% to be able to sustain our operations through the most critical period. And that's a direct pass on to the passengers. We do not want that to happen. We do not want to borrow, as our models show us we would need to do, so much so that we're not in a strong financial position to be able to support the tourism industry coming out of this.
So I'm actually curious about one of the comments you made during your initial response about most of the travel in 2020 being domestic travel. Mm-hmm. I've in some of the conversations I've had with tourism operators, they've asked for the federal government to put some sort of a push on to encourage domestic travel once the public health advice suggests it's safe to do so. Are there things that you think we can do to help airports facilitate domestic travel so tourism operators may mitigate? We may see a mitigation against some of the worst economic consequences of this outbreak.
For sure. When you think about travel, even between provinces right now, one of the main things that has to happen before that can happen is the provinces have to open up their borders when it is safe to do so. When you look in the Atlantic region, those borders are all closed, even to intra-provincial travel. That's the first thing that has to happen to allow people to travel safely and to allow the carriers to be able to carry the passengers between those provinces. The second thing we need to do, which we've started to do now, is work really closely with the industry to ensure that we have all of the procedures and processes and equipment in the airport to allow those travelers to feel safe. They're still not going to travel even domestically if they don't feel safe. When I think about what happened after 9/11, huge investment for the security that was needed